you're talking about opportunities. A lot of guys don't have an opportunity to successfully transition from the NFL. But you've done that.
Right.
Had a stellar NFL career, but what motivated you to step into the college coaching world, and specifically at a HBCU like Morehouse?
Well, you know, it's funny because I was running from coaching for a long time. My 12th year in Atlanta, my exit meeting with Dan Reeves, first thing he asked me, well, what's your plans? I'm like, wait a minute, I got one more year on my contract. What do you mean, what's my plans? He says to me, I says, well, why you ask? I said, I want to play another year. He says, well, you'll be a fine coach and I want you to join my staff. I said, Coach, I want to play another year. And he says, well, you know, and I said, I get it, my money is high and I know I'm that casualty, you know, I take a pay cut, blah, blah, blah. Didn't work out. So I said, well, if you're gonna release me early. So I ended up going to Pittsburgh for year 13. At my exit meeting, Bill Cowher said, what's your plans for next year? I said, Coach, why you ask? He said, I think you'll be a hell of a coach and I want you to join my staff. I said, Coach, I won't play for another year. This was 2002. And I said, no, Coach, I want to play another year. So I look back and go, my opportunity was standing right there. And I didn't want to take a chance. How about that?
Wow.
See, and I wasn't ready to do that. You hear about all the 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sleeping in the office, and I said, I'm not ready for that. You know, I'm 34 years old. I am not ready for that. But then as the years went on, I got into coaching in 2011. My first job was I was offensive coordinator at Savannah State, and I got the bug. And here's the thing. You know, you ask why a HBCU whatsoever, and the thing is, when you have a passion for what you do, it doesn't matter where it is.
Facts.
It doesn't matter where it is. And then I always tell recruits and parents and whoever else talks about, oh, you at a HBCU, a Division II football program at HBCU. I said, I don't look at it as a Division II HBCU program. It's a college football program. And that's how we go about business. So, you know, the thing is I'm not an HBCU guy. I didn't graduate from an HBCU, but I sure put a whole lot of money in it with 2 sisters graduating from Clark Atlanta and Tennessee State. So I paid for, so I'm pretty much by just default. I'm
by
HBCU.
default.
Yeah, default. Mm-hmm.
For sure, bruh, for sure. And when you look at the HBCU landscape, or as you said, college football landscape, go back a few years, Deion Sanders, he was at Jackson State, and that brought a lot of eyes and attention to not only the fabulous football that they play, but just from a bigger scope of what they do. How do you see your role now that Deion has moved on to Colorado, your role now at Morehouse College?
He passed the torch, and he guides. We talk every so often, and he guides me. You know, hey, you're gonna face this. This is how you overcome this, this, and that. See, I told you. Is it, you know, those type of conversations. Hey, man, big bro, what do you think about this? And he gives me, hey, man, he's so profound when he speaks. And I go, I never thought about that before. But, you know, one of the things it is about, we're gonna talk about HBCU football, is every week is competitive. You know, we went 1-9 this year, and we looked like we were blown out in the second half of the season. But I always tell people there's only 2 or 3 plays in a game.
Yeah.
It'll cost you the game.
Defining plays, defining moments, right?
Whatever it is, and then every time as a staff, and we look at it, and we go, was this play, and this play? And we go, wow. So we just didn't get those breaks. And the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, when you talk about Morehouse College, it's everyone's playoff game playing against the brand. The brand. Think about it. It's the brand. And then I didn't help any being a former NFL guy as their head football coach. So it's like, we're going to prove he can't coach. We can't get beat by a first-time head coach, especially NFL guy. He don't know us. And it's Morehouse College at that. So no, we ain't gonna let that happen.
So it's extra motivation when Morehouse steps on the field because they need to make a mark.
And I try to tell the young men, hey man, you playing a playoff game every week. So your level of competition and your level of engagement has to be very, very high. And then, you know, They don't understand it yet. So, they'll get it.
Yeah.
They'll get it.
You talked about the cultural impact of Morehouse. You hold a unique place in Black history. When everybody hears Morehouse College, like you said, on the football field, every other team is bringing their A game.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knows about Morehouse
Right.
men, Morehouse the home
Right.
men. You know what I mean?
Right.
How do you take that legacy? How does that legacy shape your approach on the football field coaching these young men?
Well, we had a deep conversation not too long ago, and we talked about the Morehouse brand and the men of Morehouse and the prestige that goes along with it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Nobel Peace Prize winner, and all that stuff. And we talk about it, and I got into a real deep conversation where I got really emotional about it. And I said to them, I says, understand this. That man, I was looking at the statue, I said, that man right there fought for everybody, for humanity, for injustices, not only in this country, but across the world. And one thing he had to hear every single day where he went was, go home, you Black, right?
Yeah.
You ain't nothing but, and I said, use that term freely on this campus. Dare you use that type of language on this campus, right?
Right.
Think of how deep that is.
Deep.
Dude, do you not understand the magnitude of what this man been through and what he's been called most of his life? And this was the safe haven for him, this campus, and you bring that here? No more. No more. You don't hear it no more. You don't hear it no more. When you hear it, they go, sorry, coach. Oh, my bad. Apologize, guys. Or somebody says, hey, man, that's the kind of thing we have to turn around. The respect for each other and the respect of the history whatsoever. And I try to bring that to them, not only in historical fashion, but in biblical fashion, wherever it may lead me to do it, I do it that way. I'm not interested in changing the culture, right? Because when you say culture, the word comes from, and it's not a bad term, it comes from the word cult. Mm-hmm. Cult is a group of people who does one thing a certain way, and that's the way they do it. So you don't let a lot of people in, and you don't go out to be in different pods whatsoever. It's that culture that runs everything, right?
Right.
So I'm not interested in changing that, but I'm interested in changing the atmosphere. You see what I'm saying? Because the atmosphere has a whole lot of fertile ground, but nobody's planting seeds for it to grow because we're not allowing other ideals to come in, right? Other entities to buy in or pay in because we feel that this is what we are and this is us. And outside, seeds can't grow without water and sun.
Facts.
And that's what I'm trying to bring, water and sun. Right?
Right.
Shows like this, right? Let's get it out there. Stephen A. Smith was there. Let's get the national attention on the Morehouse College football brand as much as it is on the academic side of it.
You talk about belief and watering those seeds and what it needs in order for it to grow. What was that moment to where, even though you're 1 year in, to where everything that you keep pounding inside of the young man's head, this is how we're going to do things. I know you may have thought about it this way in the past, but this is the belief that we need to have. What was that one moment you had to where you saw what you and your staff were preaching consistently every day, and you saw it come into fruition with one of your players?
It's not even, well, here it is. It's two things. Is when other coaches after games said, this is a different team. Mm-hmm. And when they says, I told my guys, this is a different team. They play all 4 quarters and they play hard, right? And that's when you know you're doing the right things. And then when you listen to them in conversation and we're speaking the same language, we're saying the same things, the terms and the phrases. So now you know, okay, they're engaged. They're engaged, so we got to keep pushing. We got to keep watering. We got to keep watering. So when that harvest grows, it's going to be beautiful. But in every harvest, and I told them this, you're gonna grow some weeds.
Absolutely.
And you gotta pull those weeds, throw them away, burn them for the harvest to grow. But understand this, when that harvest grow, it starts to drop more seeds. And then it continues to grow and continues to grow. And I told him, I said, you're the seeds right now. And then when that harvest grow and we dropping seeds, that's those other recruits that's coming in. More and more and more and more. Now we building. Now we doing something special.
Take off time.
We doing something special.
Right.